Hey. Alright, so I guess I should do an introduction. Welcome to Chat with Madam with Ass. You know, I am often so quite busy, which is why I'm so lazy with my YouTube channel. Right now there are other things in life that are just more important. Um, I want to be more creative. I want to be more energetic. I'm getting there. But welcome to the channel if this is your first time. Please hit like and subscribe and make sure you hit that little bell. So the title of the video is Nick Reiner. Is there a posh lifestyle waiting for him at San Quentin prison? Now, ever since this tragedy, Jesus Christ, rest in peace to Rob and his wife, Michelle Reiner. You know, my gourd has been got whenever I think about Nick's privilege and what's going to happen when it's all said and done, how he's never suffered any consequences. And if you've been listening to my videos, you know I think when it's all said and done, he's going to go to some posh facility where he can go horseback riding. And after a certain amount of years, he'll be able to go out on a day pass with his family. And they have to bring him back at a certain time, like 5 p.m. or something. And then, maybe another decade or so will pass pass along and he'll be released. I just could not see him going to San Quentin. But do you know Nick Reiner can have a posh lifestyle living in San Quentin prison? Do you know he still can dine on lobster or whatever type of food he wants, even if he wants McDonald's? You do know he's always going to be a junkie. He'll be doing drugs up in San Quentin. And hell, if San Quentin allows inmates to get married and have conjugal visits, you know there's about 1,000 women lined up already, ready to marry a Nick Reiner. Yeah. Well, how is that, Madam with Bass? Now, I imagine that there are some new people to this channel who have no concept of what prison life is. How can Nick do drugs and get lobsters and stuff? Because of who Nick Reiner is and what he has. He's worth, you say if Rob Reiner was worth $200 million in cash, you divide that by 3, that's like 60-something million dollars a piece. You figure this is defense attorney, when the trial's done, let's say it cost him $12 million. Well, let me slow down a bit. You're like, but California has a rule that if you murdered your parents, you don't get your inheritance. Well, I think you have to be convicted first. So since he hasn't been convicted, he has access and he's entitled to his portion. Now, I imagine if he should get convicted, then the buck stops there. He doesn't get no more of his inheritance. But that's not to say his siblings won't financially support him while he's in prison. And let's say he has a trust fund that he can live off the rest of his life from his grandfather. Now that can't be touched. Let's say the trust fund from his grandfather has $50 million in it. Whether he's convicted or not, that money can't be touched. Now, if you're Nick Reiner and you worth $50 million, you can live like a king. You can have your own cell phone and be on the internet and have a Facebook page and hell, even a YouTube channel. Well, how does that happen? You don't think them guards who make like $18 to $20 an hour won't turn their head if Nick Reiner pays them $5,000 just to bring him a cell phone and then pays a guard or a couple of guards $1,000 a week each so he can use his phone and not have to worry about it? Shit, he can pay, let's say there's only 2 shifts, 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening, and 6 in the evening to 6 in the morning. Let's say in his pod, wherever he's going to be, it's only going to be, hell, I ain't never been to San Quentin. I never been to prison, period. But I worked in the jail. Let's just say there's 3 guards for each 12-hour shift. So that's 6 guards. He can pay each guard an extra $500 a week. Hell, they'll go for an extra $500 a month. Just so that he can be up in his own cell by himself. Shit, he can pay the warden off for that too. Arrange that through his attorney. Hey, secret deal. $10,000, he has his own cell by himself, no roommate. The warden might say, no, that'll be $25,000. Got it. Not a problem. It's all corrupt in there. So he can have his own cell phone. He's paying the guards off. He doesn't have to worry about, because you know Nick is a punk. He's a coward. He's a weakling. I don't care if he is 6'3". But he got enough money to keep them gang people off his ass. Hey, get to the leader of each gang in there and give them $20,000. Send $20,000 to their family members. He won't have a problem. Well, how's he going to get a lobster, madam with ass? Speak to the chef in the cafeteria. They'll bring it in. As long as he's paying hundreds of dollars. Drugs at his disposal. Any kind of drugs he wants, he can get. Hell, even the guards will bring that in for him. And deliver it right to his cell. Now, I know in prisons in New York, upstate New York, you can have your own TV. You can't have it in the jail, but when you go to prison, you can have your own TV in your cell. He'll have his own TV, cable, whatever they got going on. I'm sure it's the same in San Quentin. But he won't have a problem because they know he's Nick Reiner, and he's Nick Reiner worth tens of millions of dollars. He will die in prison of old age and natural causes before his money runs out. You think Once Nick goes to jail, and he might be sober now because he's in a turtle suit and they watching him every 15 minutes. But once he goes to prison, even jail, he'll get it in jail. But once he hits prison, Nick can be high off of anything he want all day, every day, just like it was when he was out in the streets. Or, I shouldn't say out in the streets, when he was living in his guest house. There's only one thing that Nick won't be able to do in prison that he can do being free. Well, I should say there's only one thing I can think of. The only thing Nick can't do is go on a vacation. He won't be able to go chill out on the beach. Can't drive a car, no bus ride, can't take a train. None of that. But outside of that, and hell, truth be told, if he really wanted to go on vacation to like the Bahamas or someplace, all he got to do is lay on his bed and travel there in his mind. He could leave the prison that way. It's just as good if you ask me. So, sorry, I was just reading the chat. Either way, he's going to have a nice lifestyle, even in San Quentin. Because if you just a bum, broke, you come from a family, like most of them in prisoners, ain't got nothing, you ain't got nothing. I mean, the most you can get is you get a job and work 8 hours a day, and they pay you something like 10 cents an hour, so you make like maybe 80 cents a day. Did you know that? You could get a job in prison and your salary might be 10 cents an hour or 25 cents an hour. You know, and if you got a drug habit, you got to do some strange things to get your drugs. Use your imagination. Unless you gambling and you win some gambling money, now you got some money to get your drugs. Or you extort somebody who you know got money. They're not going to extort Nick. There won't be no need to. Won't nobody bother Nick if he throw a few $1,000s at the gang leaders. They'll protect them at that point. Nick going to have it made in the shade. And either way it goes, whether he goes to a posh mental health facility, and I put mental health facility in air quotes, you know, where you can go fishing on the lake that's on the property and play lacrosse and shit. Or if he goes to San Quentin prison, he still won't suffer the consequences for his actions and behaviors. He'll still be able to do 98% of what he wants. He'll still be able to do all the drugs he wants to do. And you know what I say to that? I hope that bastard overdoses. I wish he would have overdosed a long time ago. You know, you think of Carol O'Connor, Archie Bunker. He had a son. He struggled with addiction, loved his son, and his son ended up overdosing. So many celebrities had children. You look at Paris Hilton and who else? The other girl, the Richie girl. All of them had drug issues, drug addictions. But there's a lot of celebrities who lost their children to an overdose. Man, Nick, if he had overdosed, that would have been the best thing for his parents and family. I know that might sound rough, but Nick overdosing is better than Nick slashing their throats and stabbing them multiple times. Both of his parents were still very healthy. Granddaddy died 5 years ago and he was 98 years old. I say Rob Reiner had a good 20 years left in him. And to be cut short by a drug addicted, psychopathic, idiot loser makes me mad. That's all. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I'm going to the chat. Hello, Tony Parker. Tonil Parker, hello. Said he won't make it to San Quentin, but if he does have schizophrenia, he's too gone to realize it. I beg to disagree with you there. I think Nick is the most sane family member. He's very much sane. He might have some mental problems, but he knows exactly what he's doing. I just don't buy that. Hi, Stephanie. I'm doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Alexander Vasquez and Corbrix. I'm gay. Shit. Gay isn't happy? Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. And those are my thoughts for today concerning Nick Reiner. What say you? Let me know in the comments section. Peace.